Welcome or welcome back. For the last few years, I've been teaching AI and machine learning at University of British Columbia. And in those courses, we cover prompt engineering. There are these advanced prompt engineering features that are parts of the LLM APIs, such as function calling, which is an incredibly powerful tool. The thing is, there's there's a lot of techie stuff behind setting up a prompt that makes use of something like function calling. So I built a tool for my students that helps them to abstract away from all the technicalities of function calling, and they can just kind of get straight to the matter at hand, which is, how to design good prompts. I want to show that to you right now because it's been open sourced, and I'm pleased to tell you that you can make use of this as well. You can get it up and running in about 10 minutes on your computer, and here's what you'll be able to do. It's called the Smarter Project, and this is what I call the Prompt Engineer's Workbench. It looks like a traditional chat UI with the caveat that the system prompt has been exposed. That's the first thing that you see. But this is purpose designed to work with tool calling. Here we have 3 examples of prompts that would trigger an LLM to make use of these. So I'm going to copy one of these, and we're going to ask about the current weather in San Francisco. Now, what does function calling have to do with current weather in San Francisco? Here's the rub. Large language models are trained on a corpus of data from the past, and it's static. And this is a key concept. So when you interact with something like ChatGPT or Anthropic, you're interacting with data from the past. An example of something that it cannot possibly give you an answer on is what is the weather right now anywhere in the world. To be able to do that, it needs some kind of a back door to get out of where it could invoke special functions that would give it that privileged information. What are some other examples? Well, like, what's the situation with the Taylor Swift concert that's coming up in your town? Like, are the tickets still available or not? So really, anything that's stateful information that changes in real time, the availability of iPhones at the store that's nearest you, these are the kinds of things that an LLM cannot provide an answer on unless you set up tool calling. So what's the current weather in San Francisco? Here's our answer. The current weather is 12 Celsius. Now, a couple of things. I'll bounce back up to the top. If you Google OpenAI API function calling, you'll go directly to a link that has really good documentation from them about how function calling works. And when you read through that documentation, it's going to use get current weather as its example. Now, they don't really give you an implementation of get current weather, but I've done that in this tool, so that's fine. Anyway, you can refer to their documentation for the theory about how this works, the mechanics, and you can use this platform to see it in action. Here's what just happened is I made this prompt, what's the weather in San Francisco? And we can see, on an aside, the, the, the blue bubbles are traditional chat UI, and the other colors are system-related prompting things that typically are masked away from you. So for example, if you put this exact same prompt into ChatGPT, you'll get a similar response, but you won't see these interim steps being surfaced for you. So that's what you're getting from the Smarter project that you don't get from the consumer software. And so here's what those things are. This is our prompt engineer parameters. These are the normal things: the temperature, the max tokens, which endpoint we're hitting, what model we chose, etc. And then here's where it gets interesting. So we're presenting a tool to the LLM. In this case, it's a tool called Get Current Weather. Here's a human readable explanation of what it does: get the current weather in a given location. And then everything that follows is a technical description of what the LLM would need to provide to us if it wanted us to run this function on its behalf. So that's the first iteration as we present it, and then we wait and see what it decides to do. So in the next iteration, we get the response back from the LLM. And so in the response, it tells us, in fact, through this piece of JSON, it's saying to us in JSON speak, yes, please run the get current weather function and please provide this as the input, San Francisco, comma, California. So we do that. So we kind of pause paragraph, go off to the side. We run our get current weather function, and that function provides us with an hourly forecast of whatever the place was that we provided, in this case, San Francisco, California. And so here are those hourly forecasts. So there's going to be, I suppose, 24 of those. And it goes and goes and goes to 24. All right, cool. And then it receives that data from us in a second iteration. And on the basis of our original prompt and the data that we provided it in the interim step, it formulated this nice coherent response. Pretty cool. Now, let me show you an example of the same platform where it elects to not call the function. So what I'm going to do, since I already know that it received hourly forecast from us, I'm going to ask it, I'm going to tell it, show that to me hourly. Now, what's supposed to happen is it would show it to us hourly, but it wouldn't request the function a second time. So let's see if that's what happened. All right, so here's our second prompt, show that to me hourly. We did show it that we have this function, but it did not choose to have us call it. Instead, it took the data that it already had from us in the first iteration, and it just put it in a tabular format. All right, so that's pretty cool. It's really intelligent. I'm routinely impressed with how good of a job LLM APIs do in connecting dots between a prompt that's made and the tools that are made available to it, and its ability to rationalize which, if any of those tools, would help it provide a better response. This is a great example of how that works. So I hope you make great use of the Smarter project, that you get this up and running on your computer. Let me know how it goes. I'm always interested. And there will be more videos about this in the future about how it works. All right, see you soon.